Okay, good morning, dear students of literal reading. This morning we are going to discuss about topic of a text. In the previous meetings, we have discussed about the definition of topic, topic of or topic from the compilation of words, and also topic of paragraph. Yeah, and we today are going to discuss about the topic of a text. I will share with you my screen in a minute. So um, yeah, here it is. The what is it like the screen that I would like to share with you. Okay. So this one. We start from here. So the discussion of today is topic of a text. Yeah. There are facts that we need to admit. We need to know that before we start our discussion. First is a text rarely consists of only a paragraph. If you read newspapers, if you read magazines, if you read blogs, article, you will find that an article, a text is rarely comprised of only one paragraph. If it's not only like a kind of a very short article. So the thing that we need to know, and that's why we need to learn about how to find a topic in a text, because a text also has a topic. A good text also has a topic, and a good text should only have one topic. And topic of a text is actually the answer to the question, what is the text about? So if you happen to read an article, for example, and one of your friends come to you and ask you like, what is it that you're reading about? And that's actually a question that your friend want to know, what is the topic of your reading? If you can answer clearly to the question that your friend posed, then that means like you actually know exactly what is the topic of the article that you are reading. Just like when we talk about the topic of a paragraph and a topic of a compilation of words, um, the topic should not be too general because it will not explain many things. It will be vague and it could mislead the reader, nor it shouldn't be too specific, because if it is too specific, then it will exclude, it will not explain maybe some aspects of the text. So we need to be able to be in the middle. We need to balance our what is it like our analysis of the topic of a text. Again, it should not be too specific, nor should be too general. And topic of a text can be synthesized or inferred from topics of the paragraphs that make it up. So if a text comprised of 3 paragraphs, for example, just like what we are going to see in our example this morning, um, yeah, we need to find the topic of the 3 paragraph of each paragraph, and then later on synthesize from those 3. It needs practice, and that's why we are going to do it after this right now. So imagine that you read a text, and this text comprises of 3 paragraphs, and the first paragraph reads like this: it is easy to make a good cup of tea. Just follow the steps. First, boil some water. Next, put some hot water in the teapot to warm it. Pour the water out of the pot and put in some tea leaves. You will need 1 teaspoon of tea leaves for each cup of tea you want. Then pour the boiling water into the teapot. over the pot and wait for a few minutes. Now the tea is ready to drink. After you read this paragraph, you will see here 3 options that you should choose from the one that is the best topic for this paragraph. Whether it is A, good tea, B, how much tea to use, or C, how to make a good tea. If you understand correctly the definition of tea of topic, you will know that option A, good tea, is too general, while option B, how much tea to use, is actually too specific because it only talk about a sentence in the third line and not talk about other sentences in the paragraph. So probably the best answer for the question, what is the topic of this paragraph, is C, how to make good tea. And it is clear from the beginning. The first sentence of this paragraph tells us about it. It is easy to make a good cup of tea. So it is about how to make a good cup of tea. The next sentence says, after the first sentence, explain the steps to make a good cup of tea. Okay, that's the first paragraph. The second paragraph of the text reads like this. The first people to grow coffee beans lived in the Middle East. The Persians, Arabs, and Turks were drinking coffee many hundreds of years ago. Then in the 1600s, Europeans learned about coffee. They quickly learned to like it. Soon there were coffee houses in many European cities. Europeans took coffee with them when they traveled to new countries. That is how people in other parts of the world learn about coffee. Now, coffee is very popular in North and South America, in Africa, and in parts of Asia. Okay, there are also 3 options to the question, what is the topic of paragraph 2? Whether it is A, popular drinks, B, European coffee houses, or C, the history of coffee. It is quite easy to spot on that C is the best answer to the question, what is the topic of paragraph 2? It is the history of coffee. It is about the history of coffee. It is not about popular drinks, because if we answer that, our answer will be too general to explain paragraph 2. B, European coffee houses. I think that is too specific answer. It only talks about a sentence in the fourth paragraph, fourth line, yeah, in the paragraph. And the other sentences in the paragraph don't seem to talk about coffee houses. So paragraph 2 has as its topics the history of coffee. Now let's take a look to paragraph 3. It reads like this. In the United States, orange juice is one of the most popular cold drinks. Most of the oranges for juice grow in Florida. In many homes around the country, orange juice is always served at breakfast time. It is also a favorite snack at any time of the day. When there is bad weather in Florida, the whole country knows about it. Bad weather in Florida means fewer oranges, and that means more expensive orange juice. Which of these 3 options best describe the topic of the paragraph? Is it A, cold drinks in the United States? I assume you will answer no, because it is not about cold drinks. I mean, yeah, orange juice can be served cold, but then other drinks can also be served cold, and let's make option A too general topic. B, bottled orange juice. We don't even talk about bottled orange juice in the text, in the paragraph. So B is definitely the wrong answer. And answer C, orange juice in the United States, that could be the best answer to the question, what is the topic of paragraph 3? Now, you see probably at glance that paragraph 2, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3 of this text probably don't really, like well organized to make it a text. But now, imagine that you read this text, like these 3 paragraphs that make it into one text. The question is like, what is the topic of the text with the 3 paragraphs above? Remember that paragraph 1 talk about how to serve a good cup of tea. Paragraph 2 is about the history of coffee, and paragraph 3 about orange juice in the US. Now we have to make a synthesis of these 3 topics and extract it into one topic, one good topic. What is that? I will suggest maybe it is like popular drink. So the topic of the text that comprises of the 3 paragraphs is about popular drink. Maybe you can come up with different answer, but probably tentatively we can agree that the text is about popular drink. It is about tea, it is about coffee, and it is about orange juice. We cannot say it is about how to make popular drink because paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 don't talk about how to make coffee or how to make orange juice. We can also say the history of popular drink because paragraph 1 definitely doesn't talk about the history of tea. So is paragraph 3 isn't talking about the history of orange juice or the juice or orange. So probably still the best answer to this question, what is the topic of the text with the 3 paragraphs above, is probably popular drink. I think that's for the, what is it, like the lack of a better term for that. Now let's try another exercise or example. This text that we are going to read also comprises of 3 paragraphs. The paragraph, the first paragraph reads like this. The Los Angeles Lakers are a championship basketball team. Their home court is the Forum, a modern stadium near Hollywood, California, and among their fans are some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. Most basketball teams are based in large cities. Whenever the Lakers play at home games, they can be sure that stars like Jack Nicholson and Johnny Carson will be there to cheer for them. They have won 4 championships in the past 8 years. Now, let's try to find the topic of this paragraph. I think you will agree with me that the topic of this paragraph is about the Los Angeles Lakers as a championship basketball team. Yeah. So this text or this paragraph talk about Los Angeles Lakers. The other sentences in the paragraph talk or explain about how Los Angeles Lakers are a championship basketball team. How people from entertainment industry support them. Where is the base of the team? How many times they have won championship? They all explain about LA Lakers. Now we can move on to paragraph 2 of this text. The Boston Celtics are also a championship basketball team. They have won the National Basketball Association trophy 16 times. Their home court is the Boston Garden, an old stadium not far from the waterfront. Although few famous movie stars attend their games, the Celtics enjoy the respect and support of all people in the Boston area. Boston fans also support Major League Baseball and football teams. On nights when the Celtics are playing a final or semi-final game at home, the theaters and clubs are half empty. All the fans are either at the game or are watching it on TV. Just like when you read paragraph 1, you will find that paragraph 2 discuss about a basketball team, a championship basketball team named the Boston Celtics. And that's why you will probably answer to the question, what is the topic of paragraph 2? It is the Boston Celtics. Again, you can see the similarity between paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 in terms of finding the topic. The topics of the paragraph can be found in the first sentence of each of the respective paragraph. Now let's take a look at paragraph 3. Basketball, like other sports, is a big business in the United States. The teams are owned by people who view them as at least partly a financial investment, and each owner tries to make his team as profitable as possible. The TV networks make great profits from the commercial ads during basketball games. They are a great influence in deciding when to schedule games. They want prime-time audiences. Other programs during prime time include mystery show and quiz program. The players profit financially too. Some of the players are paid as much as $1 million a year. Now, after you read this paragraph, what is the topic that you find in this paragraph? You probably will come to the answer that the topic of this paragraph is basketball as industry, as a business in the US. And I think I agree with you if you have that answer. But now the next question is like how you will synthesize the topics of the 3 paragraphs to create the topic of the text. Remember, paragraph 1 has as a topic LA Lakers. Paragraph 2 about another basketball team, Boston Celtics. And paragraph 3 is about basketball as business, as a big business in the US. Now I will leave it to you to think as to what is the best topic that we can make of these 3 paragraphs. Thank you, and I hope that you will you enjoy this presentation and you learn something from this. And the next, I would like you to do exercise, and the exercise can be found in the link that I also share with you here.